for Ramsey Orta. There you are, Ramsey, and here I am, lucky enough to unravel my tired truth upon this canvas of community and understanding. My pleas become paint splatter brushed against a blank piece of paper, been trying to untangle my own trauma like the telephone cord wrapped around my finger, like the invisible noose time wraps around my neck, listening and twisting the storylines of so many into mine, while everyday traumas are tethered to giants and titans like you, who will never know my name, but in their head and in their bed they are suffering in prison cells, cautiously shaking, consciously considering suicidal impulses in order to spare their family, all while waiting for an opportunity to reconnect with the outside world. But the outside world has not set up their voicemail box, and you cannot leave a message after the beep. If Ramsey Orta could leave a message after the beep, maybe he'd leave a goodbye message to his friend Eric, whose life was taken by the officer of the law, who heard Eric gasp in final breaths, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe," 11 times, 11 pleas spilled into the cement, gone silent in seconds. There goes those hands, wrapped like a noose, strangling time out of his chest. Or maybe he would call his girlfriend from prison and say how full his belly was with Pop-Tarts and the ramen noodles she mails him, and how she would always show up on visitor days with food in hand, shaking from her MS diagnosis, waiting for her man. She brings him food bought by her because it is the only meal he will eat. Everything else given by the prison is peppered with rat poison. When the world turns its back against you, closes the cell, and swallows the key, it's easy to starve yourself in order to save yourself when the hunger of hope gets beaten out of you. A backhand across the locked jaw of your yelling. There are so many lives being cut in half, twisted, and then tied back together in worlds all tangled up in treacherous territory, pulled taut by those stubborn to this story, being barely held together by the knot in the throat of a woman, of a mother named Emily, who calls her strong-willed son little husband, who prays for the safety of Ramsey every night before she goes to sleep. I get choked up thinking about all the lives come undone like ribbon, whose existence was unwrapped so permanently imperfect, whose voice was steadily stamped over time and time again. They say that the truth will set you free, but not before it is done with you. Not before the wrists and ankle cuffs have left their marks, to wash your hands clean of the truth, to file away the sins of our history, to slip the truth in between the lines, to reach out your hands in present prosperity and say, I have done these things. I am not a being without fault. I am a suspect to my own decline, but I am a witness to my own revival. And with that, my words are writhing free from the solitary confinement of my mouth, and I wish to speak to a man who sits and chews and suffers for the satisfaction of others, whose whole world has unraveled behind the bars of our memory, whose story, with this poem, is breathing just a few more broken breaths, who sits quietly now, with all eyes surveying his history, but the world has let go of the promise to protect his future. How dare we make jokes of our future as if there are not bodies digging holes in the cement walls of their cages all over the world, hoping to catch a breath of fresh air. Ramsey may not see freedom until the end of this year. It's been 5 years of wrestling with the law and a world that won't carry his name into the light, but instead drag the bones of his broken spirit through the darkness of our daunting, unjust universe called life. Ramsey knows words and moving images can spark a movement of resilience, that standing witness to a moment of brutality will forever break the bars that have been built between us. So make these life sentences matter. Write the words we keep to ourselves over and over again. Stand up for yourself and for others. Keep showing up, even when the world says you can't. Capture the moments we fear losing the most, but know holding on to them forever will convict us both. I wish for the day Ramsey sees the bars of his guilt and fear of existence opening up, and the world we all grew up in welcomes him back. I think there will be some freedom in this release.